Hello, my family. It is Sunday afternoon. This is a new day, and I'm going to praise the Lord through it all, and we are going to enjoy this day. Now, on Sunday in the South, there is one particular thing that I have noticed to be a staple in every area, and Sunday is fried chicken day. Miss Gina, if you are catching this video, you better tell Mr. Ron I heard him. Also, this is for my husband as well. So, Mr. Ron, you and my husband, hopefully, I found what we need. If not, we'll scratch it and do it again. But tonight, I am going to start the first time. We're going to see if this is a keeper or a try again method. But we're going after a low-carb fried chicken. Y'all, Mr. Ron has been waiting for this, and he, in my last two lives, has brought up, please have my fried chicken. I'm going to do that. And honestly, my husband did too. Now, one reason I'm also doing this is my husband does love his fried chicken. And we did test it out, even though he's on his meds. You know, I told you all that he's able to do a little bit more than he used to. So we tried to take him out to Connie's Chicken, and it backfired. It backfired so bad on him. So I told him that I was going to try it in a different way. So this is how we're going to do it. So tonight's dinner, I am going to be making some low-carb fried chicken, and I am using, in this one, we're going to be using chicken thighs. So, let's go to the kitchen. I also want to thank each and every one of you. Yep, I'm going to suck it up like a buttercup because, you know, you really don't know how much I love y'all. This last couple days, I have seen so much out of this family. It's almost as if I could literally see you all. You had chills running up my, when I think about it, you had chills running up my arms. I could literally see each and every one of you. Take one of you have got on each end of my hand, you're hanging on, and this huge family circle. And that circle is so tight where you're standing with us in this channel. And all I could hear is, will that circle be unbroken? By and by, Lord, by and by. You know, shoo. Y'all are amazing. And this too shall pass. We're going to keep on going. This homestead is going to keep on running. We're going to stay the course. We're going to stay where we're at right now. Mediterranean low-carb homesteading. We got a lot coming up, and this is what we're going to do. So let's go to the kitchen, have some fun with some fried chicken on a Sunday afternoon in the deep south of Mississippi. All right, for those of you who are new, my name is Carrie. I'm from Parton's Heritage Homestead, and this is my kitchen. This recipe that I am working on right now is from Low Carb Love. And hers, I was looking at 3 different ones. Hers seemed to be the most spot on. However, it kind of has me concerned because it's using almond flour. But I've read some of the views, but you know that I don't read those views too deeply because I got to find out for myself. Now this one has almond flour. Some of them, there's 3 different kinds that they use. Some used almond flour. Some used coconut flour. And others used protein, egg white protein powder. So, I don't know. Too much protein to me. Maybe it's good, I don't know. But adding that much more protein to a protein kind of bothered me. To make a crispy chicken, we are actually going to try the almond flour first. So, using her recipe, the marinade. Now, this has been marinating for about an hour. So, I'll tell you what I used. This is, again, I used chicken thighs. I ran it under cold water, pat them really good and dry, put them in a Ziploc bag with, I used a half a cup of buttermilk and 1 egg. Now, The other thing you can do, which is in her recipe, is use a half a cup of heavy cream and 1 egg. You make sure you put this in the refrigerator. You can use sour cream and a little bit of lemon juice with the egg if you wanted to as well. Either way you want to do this, you can do it. Now, I've heard many say, well, there's a lot of carbs in buttermilk. But honestly, that buttermilk for 1 cup is 14 grams of carbs. We're using a half a gram, which brings that down to 7. Not only that, you don't have a full half cup on this chicken, y'all. By the time you pull this out, 95% of all the liquid's still going to be in this bag. We're not even getting that much. I am going to say, even with this, and me changing this recipe, the original recipe is basically a total of 4 carbs with 2 net carbs completely. Now, with the small changes that I am doing, I can almost guarantee you I can went less or slightly, maybe 4 grams at the most for the net. But I did not make major changes. So this was one of them. I used buttermilk, 1 egg, and it is in my bag, and it has been marinating. You want this at least 30 minutes, no less than 30 minutes, up to an hour. Some can even put it overnight if you wanted to. But mine's been in there for about an hour, so we're going to go ahead and make the next move. So the next move is making up our breading. Now, to let you know what this is supposedly the copycat version of KFC chicken in the low-carb way. And that's what we're going to do. Now, she uses 1.5 cups of almond flour, which I have in here. There is 1 tablespoon of tapioca powder. Now, I don't have tapioca powder. That one there, I had an issue with it. So instead, I added a half a cup of coconut flour to mix with this. That is the one. And I'm going to turn around and give you the original version. And in parentheses, I'm going to give you my adjustments. The other ingredient in here is 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I mix this up and I set it aside. Now, the herbs and spices that are going to go in our mix. This would consist of a half a teaspoon each. Salt, paprika, xantham gum, garlic powder. Oh wait, nope. Hold on, guys. I gotta go back. There's a half a tablespoon of paprika. A half teaspoon each of salt, xantham gum, garlic powder, dried oregano, dried basil, celery seed, white pepper, and cayenne pepper. So I will, like I said, don't panic. I know I just messed up, and hopefully you weren't writing this down. I will put it in the description just in case you were. So all I'm going to do now is sprinkle all of this into my mix. And then we are going to mix this up, because this is our breading for our fried chicken. And we are literally going to fry this, and I am going to use a lesser grade, I guess. You can use peanut oil, you can use what you want. I'm going to be using a vegetable oil. I know many of you are going to say that's not the greatest thing either. We don't use it often, y'all. I could use avocado oil. I don't have any. I could use olive oil, but olive oil cannot withstand that high heat. I do have vegetable oil, so I am going to use that. I don't use it often, and I'm also aware of what it can do. So please, in this case, use the oil of your choice. Use the fat of your choice. This is a choice I'm using because this is what I have. Remember, I'm still doing the pantry, y'all. So now, what do? Now we just take each piece of chicken, and I am going to prep my hands for this, so I will be right back. Okay, now that I got this ready, I am going to try to keep one hand dry because I need to use that for here. So I'm going to pull my chicken out of my mix, and we're going to put it into our breading, and we're going to coat our chicken really well. This is going to sit on this rack that we have, As you notice, I have a cookie sheet with a baking rack on top of it, or a grid. This is going to sit and dry for about 30 minutes to an hour on that rack. It's not going to be touched. We're going to leave it just rest. So we're coating each. That's so pretty. It already looks pretty. It's wild. Go ahead and do this. We're going to coat our chicken really good. Make sure it's coated all the way around in every nook and cranny you can find, just like so. Pack it in there good, y'all. Now some of this is gonna come off, and that's okay. You just want to make sure this is good and coated. There's plenty of breading here, and honestly, this recipe is actually for 1.5 to 2 pounds of chicken cut in pieces. So it's about skin on chicken. It's whatever you choose. You can use legs, thighs, wings, breast, whatever you want, y'all. I'm just going to continue. Like I said, we only have 4 thighs, so I actually have more of this left over, but because I've got chicken in here, I won't be able to save it. So next time I know that and see, I've never done this before, so I'm learning. Instead of wasting these ingredients, I'll put just a little bit in there from now on. Coat my chicken, add more if I need it, and the rest, like I do my other breading, I can put it in the freezer. That way I could keep my KFC breading here. Alright, and now we have our last piece. I'll make sure we got our liquid on there, coat it, and then we're going to put it in here. Shake it up really good. Flip it around. Coat really good here. Add it on here really good and nice and thick. And make sure every area is covered. Shake off the excess. Make sure you have the skin on too, y'all. Put it on our pan. Now we're going to let this sit. I got a couple pieces right here I can see I can redo. But we're going to let this sit for 30 minutes to an hour. Just let it dry on here. And then by then, as it gets close to 10 minutes or so before the end of the time, we are going to go ahead and start heating the oil up in our skillet. And I'm going to be using probably a cast iron skillet. So I will be back as soon as this is set for its time. Okay, y'all, so the other thing that I am going to test out today, which I have not done yet, is back in August, we were canning potatoes. And I had done videos on how to can russet potatoes and red potatoes. I told you the difference between the two is russets, we're going to leave this starch. These are the ones I was going to try to see if they made a good mashed potato. The other ones were more for frying and turning into roasted potatoes, and you can make them into potato salad. They were a bit more firmer, and those were the herbed ones. So today I am going, or this evening, hubby's going to be having cauliflower mashed potatoes. I am going to try this. I'm first going to take the ingredients in here, heat these potatoes up, and then I'm going to strain them and see if we can make mashed potatoes. I've never done this, and I'm kind of interested in finding out, can I do it? So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and open this jar. And once I open this jar, I'm going to put it in my pan. I'm going to sit and boil these for about 10 minutes. Now, like I said, they got all the starches and stuff at the bottom. And I knew that was going to happen. These are not the type to turn into basically roasted potatoes or anything. Russets always do this but are they good for mashed? So now we're going to turn this on. I like to bring this to a boil. I do that with all my meats, everything like that. My beans, I always like to take the liquid, boil them, and then I will turn around and strain this, and we will see what happens turning this into a mashed potato. So that's another one we're going to do today. We'll be right back. Okay, my family, so I've got my potatoes already boiled, and now they're straining. I am using, for my butter source, I am actually using ghee. I choose to use a clarified butter for this. You can use butter, you can use whatever you prefer. My cream source is actually going to be a little bit of sour cream, so I'm not even going to add milk to this. I just want a creamy version. So I'm going to take this now, turn this off, and you can use an emulsion blender, whatever you choose to do. I'm just going to take a fork, basically, and just sit here and mash this. If it's a little lumpy, I don't care. Sometimes I make real mashed potatoes with potatoes and it comes out lumpy or pretty smooth, but it reminds me of real potatoes. Now granted, yes, this will not work for a diabetic. This is for families who decide that they may want to catch a deal on potatoes, considering we just went through a major spell of price hiked potatoes like I ain't never seen before. And that's when I went to canning. I caught them on a sale, brought them home, and I started canning them. So I want to see if it was worth doing that. So this is for the other parts of my family who stay with me through the Mediterranean and all American ways too. So I'm just going to sit here and mash this up right quick. Now here at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of my sour cream. Y'all, this is coming out nicely actually. I'm really surprised. It's coming out just like a mashed potato. So I think I am going to try my emulsion blender. So give me a minute to get this done and we'll be right back. Okay, so would I use an emulsion blender again? No. Honestly, I would probably just use a potato masher. I will tell you, like some potatoes, these are very starchy, but they're still coming out like a potato. So I think I would prefer, for me, just using a potato masher instead of emulsion blender. Now I did add just a little bit now of my sour cream. Do like I do regular potatoes, some salt and pepper, and we'll see how this works. Mix this all up, and as you can see, I mean, we've got mashed potatoes, and this came from our jar of russet potatoes. Now a friend of mine and I were just talking about these the other day, and she said these tasted so much better than when she makes them fresh from boiling the potatoes and all that. So we're about to find out how this works. So I'm going to set you up and we're going to give this a taste test. Let's see here. Go ahead and put this in our bowl. And let's see y'all how these turned out. Alright, my family, let's give this a taste. Could use a little more salt. Hang on a minute and I'll give you my review. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. When I got off camera, I did finish that bowl. Look, I told you I'm real. So, my weakness. Yep, I finished that bowl before I came back to you. So, yeah, I couldn't lie to you. Now, my review on this. Okay, I was totally surprised. They are starchy. Now, I will say, just like taking the red potatoes, and if you were to try to make mashed potatoes out of red potatoes, you get that extra starch. And it kind of resembles somewhat of like a pasty type, very, very creamy. But these are thick. They taste just like a real potato. There is so much potential in using these for basically a mashed potato. Y'all, I would absolutely do this. I have a couple more jars, And yes, that can be my go-to. Would I do this again? Yes, I would. I can even turn these, adding some flour, some seasonings if I wanted to, and literally I can make, using them mashed like this, some Polish potato latkes, or otherwise known as potato pancakes. There is so much use for using these into mashed potatoes. So I would agree, yes, these do taste good. Surprisingly, I've tried now both. I've tried the red potatoes used as a russet, or not russet, used as a roasted. I have fried them up and sliced them. I have made potato salad out of them, and it did not, it didn't fail me. It came out exactly what was said. So I would do those again. Actually, I did do those again. This is the first time I did russets. Russets can be tricky because they are full of starch. I wouldn't eat a whole bunch of these, especially by myself, and me trying to do Mediterranean and trying to lose weight. I would do this every once in a while. But they make a good potato for your family. If you come up to a point you get potatoes on sale, here's my advice this year. If it comes down to that the farmers are going to have, we're going to have another price hike in potatoes, you can get them at a reasonably price, or you can get them on a sale. Can those babies up and put them on your shelf. Absolutely use these to put mashed potatoes on your family's table. You can even boil them up, honestly, and when you're done boiling them, strain them and put some butter in there and serve them as whole potatoes as well. These will work for that also. So, yep, I would do it again. I absolutely would. Now, I got to learn to behave myself since I finished that bowl. I would like a little bit with my fried chicken tonight. So I'm going to have to be a good girl, not eat this whole pot because it was that good. I promise you, it was that good. So, this is where I am my own worst enemy. I can make some of the best tasting food ever, and I can get in so much trouble. So let's go back to my chicken. It's safer. Alright, y'all, we have about 10-15 minutes left on the drying time within my half hour for my chicken. I am setting up my oil. It is very important you bring your oil up to the temp for frying at 350 degrees. Especially when it comes to low carb breading, you want your oil to be at temp. So I am also testing this to make sure that it's at 350 degrees before I even attempt to put our chicken in there. Right now we're at 294. So once this comes up to heating point, we're going to go ahead and start frying up our chicken. Okay, y'all, so our oil is up to temp, and we are going to proceed to fry our chicken. Now these are pretty big size thighs, so I'm just going to do one at a time. I don't want to overpower my pan with this chicken, so this one here is going to do, and just like you would every Sunday, Mama, Grandma, Great-Grandma, they spent hours in the kitchen frying our chicken. I'm doing the same thing, and I'm going to do this right, one piece at a time if I have to. So, in each section, we will come back. We want to make sure this sits so it gets good and golden brown. The internal temp on our chicken, we want at 165. So, I'll go ahead and fry this up. We'll see how it works, and we'll be right back. Alright, y'all, as you can see, these are actually frying up. Now, I did get a taste of the breading. Please know, nothing in the diabetic world is not the exact same of what we've known before. But this is a good breading so far, y'all. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going to do things differently. Almond flour can get dark really fast if left too long. So I'm going to half and half this. I am going to fry these till they are this golden brown. Then I'm going to put them back on my pan and put them in my oven until my internal temp on my chicken reaches 165. That's where we're at right now. I'm going to continue to finish frying these. As you can see, they are definitely frying. And if you were to look at the KFC world, this would be the original recipe, not the extra crispy. So let's continue to keep going. After this, I will be putting them in the oven, just so you know my process, and we'll see how this turns out. Okay, y'all, so I had checked the internal temps. Our chicken had been in the oven, and it came out. I let it rest for 10 minutes, and so it is finished. This is the crispy crust that we have. Now, again, almond flour likes to get a little darker than most flours, so, but it's definitely coated. Now, I'm going to take this piece of chicken apart, and we're going to taste test this. So, let me go ahead. It's still hot, so I'm going to pull this apart, and we're going to taste the, I'm going to look for moisture, flavor, and all around balance as far as a fried chicken. Alright, Mr. Ron, here's your test. Here's our test. We're going to see. Beautifully moist. It is definitely very tender. So the buttermilk done really good with this. Baking it after it was fried done really amazing. So texture, very, very tender. Oh my. Alright, y'all, so here's my review on this. Would I do this one again? Yes, I would. Now, like I said, they do say that the egg white protein powder makes it a little bit more crispier. I just have a hard time wanting to be able to put that much protein with the protein. So, hubby even tried this. That is so close to a fried chicken than I would have ever imagined for a low-carb version. To be honest, it totally surprised me. The flavors are amazing. Is it like your everyday fried chicken on Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening? No. It does have a thinner layer and a softer. So you get somewhat of a crunch, but you don't get that crunch. But it is a way of letting you know that you are eating fried chicken. Try this recipe out. Tell me what you think. There are other versions of it. Right now, one is really more expensive, and that is the protein powder. The other one would be just plain coconut flour. So you can try that as well. I use the combination of both. I did eliminate the tapioca powder. So you guys give this one a try, see what you think. But in the meantime, we're having fried chicken low carb, and I'm going to enjoy this one. I love you all. Until next time. The raised beds came in, so we will be building those up very soon. I'll be making a video with you. We're going to work outside in the green as far as setting up for the gardens. Spring's coming, and we're going to do this, y'all. We're going to do this every day, working in our kitchen, working outdoors. You are taking this journey with me. This homestead is a family homestead, and we're going to work it together. I love you. Until next time. Time to eat, y'all. From Parton's Heritage Homestead.